All right, boys and girls, we're going to start the review lesson for Unit 5. All right. On the first page, what you're going to be doing, you can use your fraction squares. And boys and girls, remember that to get your fraction squares, you can go to your eTools on Everyday Math, and in your eTools, just go to your fraction squares and pull them up, okay? So in this one, they're giving you a picture, words, or numbers, and you have to figure out how you would write it either in words or numbers, or in some cases you may have to even draw the picture. So the first one is done for you, and if you notice here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 equal pieces, so those 8 equal pieces is going to be your denominator, and remember your denominator is the bottom number. And then the shaded areas, the shaded equal pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's what's going to give you your top number, which is your numerator. So it becomes 6/8. And this is how it would be written as a fraction, and then this is how it would be written as words. All right, for the next one, it says the whole is the pink piece, and if you remember, the pink piece is half. All right, and they're showing you here that there are 2 pieces. Okay, so I would put my 2 pieces on the bottom, and 1 piece is shaded, so the 1 becomes my numerator. And then to write that in words would be 1/2. All right, for the next one, once again, they gave us the picture, and the whole is the light blue piece. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 equal pieces. So that becomes my denominator, which is my bottom number. 1 piece is shaded in, so my fraction would be 1/3. So written in words would be 1/3. All right, see if we can pull this up. Oops, sorry about that. I have to use my computer. All right, so on the last one, it says the whole is, go with red piece, okay? So the whole is the red piece because we're talking fourths. So we're going to take and we're going to divide this into 4 pieces. I'm going to shade in 1 piece to show 1/4 because there's 4 equal pieces. And I need to show what 1/4 would look like. And my fraction would be the 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. 4 equal pieces is my denominator. And one of those pieces represented here in my coloring would be 1/4. All right. Let's go on to page 2. And on page 2, number 2, it says, Drew turns over these 2 cards during a game of fraction memory. He thinks he found a pair of equivalent fractions. Do you agree? So if we look at these 2 fractions, okay, and if we were to take, and we can make each of them into fourths, are they equal? If you notice this part here is the same amount as this part here. So yes, they are equal. And explain your thinking. The shaded area of each circle on the cards is the same size. Okay. All right. In part B, it says use your fraction cards to find a different pair of equivalent fractions and record your 2 fractions on the lines below. Okay, we could look at and we could say 1/3 is equal to 2/6. Boys and girls, this is where you would need to have your fraction pieces up on your e-tools, and you could compare them. Okay, we could also do 2/4 is equal to 1/2, or I'm sorry, wrote that wrong. 2/4 is equal to 1/2. Okay, we could do 2/8 is equal to 1/4. Okay, and you can look and see which other ones go with that. All right, on the next part, you are to complete the table of 3 multiplication facts. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3, we're just going to double that 3 and becomes 6. 3 times 3, and remember, boys and girls, 3 times 3 is a square because both factors are the same, and my square product is going to be 9. And 4 times 12 would be just adding on another 3, which would be 12, or 4 times 3, I'm sorry. So what pattern do you notice for the product? We could say that the product switches between even and odd, and we've been talking a lot about even and odd numbers. And the product, and remember, product is the answer to a multiplication problem, increases by 3 each time. Alright, so that completes page 2. Let's go on to page 3. Okay, and it says for each of the facts below, record a helper fact. Use your helper fact and either add or subtract a group. Use words, numbers, or pictures to show your thinking. So for 4 times 6, I could use the helper fact 3 times 6, because I know 3 times 6 equals 18. Okay, and then I would look at that and say, well, 3 times 6 equals 18. 4 times 6, I would just be adding another 6. And 18 plus 6 equals 24. So 4 times 6 is 24. Okay? Or I could look at that and say 4 times 6. Okay? I could build me a 4 by 6. And I could use doubling. I can make this 2 times 6. And this 2 times 6. This would equal 12. We double that up, and we come up with 24. Okay, either one of those strategies would be good. For part B, 8 times 4, our helper fact. Well, we could do 8 times 5. And 8 times 5 is 40, because all we're doing is skip counting by 5s. So if I know that 8 times 5 equals 40, okay, I just have to subtract a group of 8, and that would give me 32. Okay, and remember, boys and girls, when I'm figuring out what it is I add or subtract, I look at both of my equations, and I find the factor that is the same. And my 8 is the same, so that's what tells me that I'm going to either add or subtract that 8. All right, for number 5. Okay, it says Mason is playing a round of salute. The dealer says 18. His partner has a 9 on his forehead. What number does Mason have? Okay, so if we know that the dealer has, or his partner has a 9, I know that 2 groups of 9 equal 18, so my partner must, or I must have on my forehead a 2. Okay, and then it says to write a multiplication number sentence and a division number sentence for this problem, I could do 9 times 2 equals 18, and then my division problem would be 18 divided by 9 equals 2. How do the number sentences show the solute? Okay, if we're thinking multiplication, we could ask ourselves, 9 times what number equals 18? Okay, I could also think of how many groups of 9 are in 18. And these are two things that could show what my thinking are in order to figure out my answer to the solute. All right, let's go on to the last page. Okay, number 6 says we need to divide the square below into 4 equal pieces. So that's the first thing I want to do. I want to divide it into 4 equal parts. And then it says shade and label one part with a fraction. So if I know there's 4 parts, 4 is going to be my denominator, which is my bottom number, and I want to do 1 part, so 1/4. And if I go ahead and shade that in, that would show me the 1/4. Number 7 says Owen is trying to solve 7 times 9. He sketches a rectangle to help him think about how to break apart the number so that the fact is easier to solve. Here is his sketch. So if we look at this, he has his rectangle. He has it labeled 7 times 9. He's saying, okay, I can take that 9 and divide it into 5 and 4. I know that 7 times 5 equals 35, and a 7 times 4 would equal 28, because I know 4s are just double, so 7 plus 7 would equal 14, and 14 plus 14 gives me the 28. All right, next step says to use words or numbers to explain his thinking. So he his rectangle's into 2 pieces. The first rectangle shows 7 times 5 equals 35. And then the second rectangle shows 7 times 4 equals 28. Showing by using the strategy I used up here, I can figure that out. So then I would have to do 35 plus the 28, and that would equal 63. So 7 times 9 is 63. And remember, boys and girls, when we're doing this, remember we said our trick would be 9 times 7. We're going to take 1 away. That becomes 6. And 6 plus 3 equals 9. So that would also give me a way to know that 1. So our strategy was take 1 away and then make 9. Okay? And remember, that's one of our tricks that we found out that we can use to help us with our 9 facts. Take 1 away and make 9. All right, and our last problem. Ava and Olivia are working together to solve 8 times 9. Ava says, I think 8 times 8 will work as our helper fact. Olivia says, I think 9 times 9 will work as our helper fact. With whom do you agree? Okay, we could agree with both of them. I could agree with Ava. Okay, because Ava thought that 8 times 8. Okay, so I agree with Ava because she can add a group. remember it's a group of 8 to 8 times 8. So that would be 64 plus 8. And I can also agree with Olivia. Because she can subtract that group of 8. So 9 times 9 equals 81, and 81 minus 8. And my answer, I would get my same answer for both of them. All right, boys and girls, that concludes our review lesson for Unit 5.